I'm not gonna lie, chat. This one's for me. Okay, I want to know the stuff about Emu. Spoilers on the recent One Piece stuff, man. That's all I'm saying. I want to be in there, bro. Get me in, bro.
My theory is that not only can Emu not leave the castle, he probably cannot leave the flower room because a user of the Opop fruit
No,
made a
we
bubble
saw
in
that
which Emu
now. We
could
saw
survive
that.
his deadly wounds after being critically injured by Joy Boy.
Oh, that's
He has
why he's
little time
there.
left and needs to return before he bleeds out. It could
What's your
also be
guys'
the case
theories
that
on that,
perhaps
bro? I feel like really, I don't think it's any of this time stuff. This is what I feel like with Emu. I think it's his, like his body. He needs a new body. I don't think the Lunarian version of him. I don't think this is him. I think this is a body that he stole. This is not. I don't think original Emu looks like the person that we're seeing. It is Emu, and that is what he looks like, and he's been looking like for 800 years. But I don't think this was him like originally. Does Emu not look like an upgradable character? He does. He looks like a video game upgradable character. This guy is just upgrading everything about him, about himself.
it's the same mystery disease that killed
I
Roger
don't think
and
that's what
Whitebeard
Emu
and that
actually
made
looks
Foggy
like. You know
sick
what I mean?
involved with the proximity of Devil Fruit users to the One Piece Olaf tale, which is why Shanks emphasized having a fruitless
Wait,
crew.
wait, wait, wait. My theory is
One Piece Olaf tale, which is why Shanks
well, this
emphasized
is like
having a
normal.
fruitless crew. Right, so I don't mind the first idea, although we have seen Emu leave the Chamber of Flowers. We've
Yeah,
seen
we saw
Emu
that
sit on
already.
the empty throne twice, and we've also seen him go into the vault where the giant straw hat is. So I do like the limitation, but I have to imagine that Emu has free reign.
Like that's not him, bro. That's not him. I also don't think these markings are like hit like natural. Like he did this to himself.
Entire castle, but that his restriction to being within the castle walls might be what caused him to innovate and utilize his
That's not
possession
Emu's
ability.
body,
It's
bro.
hard to tell at the moment, but Emu has either been gravely wounded from some sort of old Void Century battle, perhaps either against a Joy Boy, a Davy Jones, or both.
What if it's
That, or
hockey?
Emu
It's
is
hockey
suffering from
sickness.
some kind of incurable disease, but within the walls
I don't
of
think it's
Pangaea
that though.
Castle, he's perfectly fine.
I just think
It's almost as if
his
time
his
has
body
stopped
can't keep
for
up
his
no more.
body in
He
there.
needs a new
And we
one.
are still waiting for the pun intended lore behind the Ope Ope no Mi. The perpetual youth surgery must have been used in the past for people to know about it, and it could have been applied to Emu. However, perpetual youth is not a cure to a disease, and so in order to facilitate that, the best
That's
that
what I'm
may have
saying.
been able to be done is to create a space where the progression of the disease either halts or comes to
Yeah,
a
that makes
complete stop.
sense.
And also, that might
Like
not have
it
been
keeps
done
you
with the Ope
young,
Ope no Mi. That could
but
have been
keeps
done with a
you
different power, because while lots of
doesn't help
people
your
do
health
come and go from Pangaea
from
Castle,
the
the
inside.
only ones we know of who have lived there would be Emu, the Five Elders, and Emu's servant, who was Gunko at one point. And
Because these
just
people aren't
so happens
immortal,
that all
okay?
7 of these
They're
characters
just
we know of
not
are the
aging.
ones who have
They can
remained
die.
perpetually youthful. Gunko is about 80 years old at this point. Saint Saturn, he was at least over 200 years old. And Emu is potentially 1,000 years old, if not more. Meanwhile, the Holy Knights, despite having made a Depth's Covenant with Emu, do age. However, they don't live within Pangaea Castle. They have their own mini-city of Shangara. And this could be why not just Emu, but also the Five Elders are so hesitant to ever leave the Holy Land. Because if there is some sort of power within or around Pangaea Castle that halts aging, then they would need to ration their outdoor time quite strictly. Because as soon as they step outside, the clock would start again and their bodies would resume aging. And that
Yeah.
might not be the biggest issue for the Elders.
I don't think
who
it's
can afford
that.
to take some day excursions here and there, but it
I
could
don't
be
think
a
it's
massive
that.
issue for Emu, who as far as we know could be minutes away from his body naturally dying.
I like the theory that like he's literally about to die. Like what if, bro, he's literally about to die. He got hit with an attack from 800 years. They found a way to stop it, but he's literally like about to die. Like Joy Boy hit him with like an insane hockey move, like some divine departure, like bang, and they beat him in the war, and they were able to stop him from dying. But it's only when he's in the castle. But he doesn't age because he's got the awakened fruit, Law's awakened fruit ability, but he still has that damage. He still has that health. So like when he leaves the castle, it
In a way,
resumes.
this does
I just
play
don't
into
think
the
it's that though.
sympathetic angle of
That'd be
Emu. In
peak.
fact, even
I
if
just
all
feel
of
like
the
he needs a new
reasonable
body,
reasons
bro.
are wrong, the result is still quite
I feel like
tragic.
he needs a new
Because
body.
however this came about, Emu is a prisoner within his own kingdom. He has all of the power and all of the influence in the world, but he is trapped, which would make him the ultimate symbol to stand in contrast to Luffy, who is the
Because
most
it doesn't
free
seem like he really
person on
cares
the
about
planet.
Marie Joao
Not
that much.
even
I
the
feel like
king
he would
of the
care about
world can
defending it
achieve
more,
freedom.
you
I
know?
suppose that's why Luffy doesn't want to become a traditional king or even become a conqueror of any kind, because he instinctively knows that that responsibility would only constrict him. And narratively, something like this works perfectly because it explains why Emu can't just teleport anywhere at any time and use his
I'll turn that shit up
infinite
a little
powers
bit.
to solve any problem. And the same goes for the Five Elders to some extent. Due to the need to stay within the walls of Pangaea Castle, they are particularly reliant on the Marines as well as Cypherpole to keep the world in check via their orders. But it doesn't just explain past actions, it also explains why we're not all just dead right now on Elbaf. Emu's sickness puts him on a strict clock. We do not need to defeat him or overcome Emu in terms of power.
Bro,
We
he
just
looks
need to outlast him. And that
insane.
feels like a much more reasonable solution to conclude this event with. Some sort of very clear disparity of power, but a convenient excuse to not have that power end the series right here and now. I always assumed Emu to be a woman. I have never seen a man play with butterflies all the time. So I did want to bring up Emu's love of butterflies, actually. I mean, butterflies, they're not so much a feminine symbol, but it's more that their presence tends to indicate peace and tranquility.
love
And it's
Grand
quite
Line
a stark
Review.
contrast for the king of the world, a man responsible for so much horror, so much pain, so much suffering, to be indulging in this peace and tranquility. And at this point, I have very little doubt that Emu sees himself as the good guy in whatever series of events has brought us all to this point today. But all that remains
No
to be
way he
seen is
does.
whether or not he is an actually tragic figure. Because I do think it's going to be very, very difficult.
My thing is, pause. Bro, if Emu is an actual good person and he went through some shit and it's like the situation with Blackbeard where it's like now we see why he does this. He's been doing it for 800 years. At some point, the 800 years he's been doing this shit, it changes you as a person. It outweighs the good person you were before. It's been 800
Emu
years.
into that kind
I
of character
doubt
with all
he even remembers why he's such a bad person.
just with all the stuff
he's
he's
just
done.
doing it
However,
now.
with all of the information we've been given at the moment, that is the direction that I feel like Oda is leaning in. And I probably bring this up far too much, but it's one of the most impactful things that a character has ever said about this world, and it is when Vegapunk said, "I want to make one thing very clear first. Whoever may have rendered their
Yeah.
judgment onto me, I'm not trying to convince you that their intent is evil. I will not apply
Yeah,
the
chat.
labels of good and evil at all, in fact, because I understand too little about him to begin with." Which was a great thing to say at the time in that
So he
death
knew
message, because
Emu
the
was
entire
there.
world now thinks that Luffy killed Vegapunk, and so by having said this, Vegapunk kind of saved the reputation of the Straw Hats there a bit. But I don't think Vegapunk predicted that far ahead. I don't think he was talking about Luffy or Joy Boy,
He's
but
talking about
surely
Emu.
he has to have been talking about Emu. Emu is him, the person who did actually render judgment onto Vegapunk. And if so, that is huge, because whatever Vegapunk knows, which he admits is not enough, it was still enough for him not to immediately label Emu's intent as evil, which I imagine is unthinkable to the
But
vast
look at him,
majority
though.
of the One
Look
Piece
at him.
fan base, and it was
Look
to
at
me as
him.
well. At least it was before
Yo,
chapter
infographics, bro.
1179. And remember that it's not just Vegapunk speaking. Every line of dialogue serves a dual purpose. The first is that it is the characters communicating in world, and the second is that it is the author communicating to the readers. So with that in mind, I think Oda is telling us not to immediately judge Emu, and I'm now preparing myself for the inevitable depressing flashback of Saint Emu Nerona. Plus, to go back
Oh,
to
I
the
need that
butterflies, they're
flashback
also a
so
symbol
much.
of transformation and rebirth, so they're actually quite perfect to use thematically when dealing with plot points.
It's gotta
that
be-
involve
it's gotta
something
be
like
tragic,
transitioning
but
from
I
one
mean,
world
bro,
to another,
like,
as stated in the Harley
it's
text.
been
But also
800
speaking of the
years, bro.
Harley,
How
this chapter
tragic could
has
it have,
breathed some new
have
life
been?
into a rather obscure theory that Emu is actually the forest god, and in a couple of different ways. The first is that the Harley says that the forest god tamed devils at the beginning of the Second World, which is currently widely believed to be a reference to devil fruit, and Emu's power is now very much linked to them
don't
at the
think
very
any of
least,
that.
if not the root cause of all of them. And also when Emu arrives on Elbaf,
Bro, every time we think about like
he
theories and stuff like that, we always like as a community, like One Piece fans always blow it out of proportion more than what it is. And then we don't, it's not like we get disappointed, but it's always more like tame a little bit. Aside from Gear 5, obviously. But bro, I just feel like he has the devil's fruit. Like he can control devils.
Animates
like,
the
or
landscape
he's-
around him.
He
But
has the
looking back
first
on it,
devil
only
fruit. Like the
particular things are
devil.
affected. Those things being the wooden buildings
it.
and the trees, with wooden
Yeah,
buildings
it's just
rather
the devil
famously
fruit,
being
bro.
constructed
It's
out
not
of
always
trees.
that
And
deep,
so
I
it
don't
appears
think.
that Emu is only animating these elements of a forest, the trees. I still think it's a bit wild not to go with Sea God at this point. There's a lot more evidence going in that direction. However, Emu's links to nature
No, I
are
think
now
this- I think
significantly
the-
stronger, and
the
he
sea
does
god
have a
will be
potential place in the
Blackbeard.
Harley text as a maybe forest god. And perhaps the sea god is a role that could
Yeah,
be
it's
given to
Blackbeard.
Davy Jones and now inherited by Blackbeard. Given that
Yeah,
Davy Jones
I
does
agree.
have much more clear
I agree
dominion
with
in the
this
sea
one.
with Davy Jones as a locker and such. Man on the internet, after Emu leaves the Holy Land, there is a panel of Pangaea Castle, and after that there are two more panels of the Red Line.
I
with
saw
what
some theories and it was like Blackbeard already has the sea god fruit. I don't think he does. I think he still only has 2. But the third one will probably be like the sea god.
appears to be a balcony, an entrance, or secret passage maybe.
'Cause when he was
What
fighting
was
WoW, I
that,
saw a
and
video
why
pointing
did
out that
Oda
he
show it? Yeah,
kind of
if you look
walked out of the
closely at
water, but
these
we
two
don't actually
panels
see.
of the Red
It's
Line
not
in
like
this
they showed
chapter,
him dripping water, dripping wet. You
There's
know what I
something
mean?
a little bit odd about them. When you zoom in, you can see not just one, but actually
It's like
two
evidence,
distinct
but not
rectangles.
evidence.
And in the black and white format of the manga, it's incredibly difficult to know what to do with this information because it's not clear. It's not clear at all. However, we have seen these rectangles before. In chapter 906, when the gondola carrying the Reverie guests arrived, we see that these are actually statues that have been placed into carved sections of the Red Line. It is infinitely easier to tell in color, and you can also see the gondola ports as well. But we also get a much better look at this as Shirahoshi and the others go up the stairs to the Holy Land, which shows us that these statues are colossal. They are the size of ancient giants. We are talking Oars and Loki scale beings, because see all these little dots down there? Those are people, and one of those people is Shirahoshi, who is the size of a small giant herself. And my current guess as to what these statues are is that they represent the 20 founding monarchs of the world government. And if we do ever
I
get
think the 20 monarchs were made up of every single race in the show. So the like one of them was a Lunarian, one of them was a Tantara, one of them was a giant, one of them was an ancient giant. I think the 20 kings in One Piece represented the 20 different types of people in the show.
to properly explore
And
the
that's
Red
all
Line
me,
one day,
gang.
we might get to see all of these monarchs. And
There's
there
probably
may
more than
even be a
20, but like I
statue
think
of a
everyone's gonna be
certain
different
Saint Emu
out of the 20
Nerona.
kings.
And I really do hope that we get to spend an extended period of time on the Red Line at some point. It is the biggest land
'Cause there was no
mass on the
racism, right?
planet,
Everything
which
was
to me
back
feels like it has the
all
greatest
together.
potential
It's just
for adventure,
everything.
because there really is a whole separate world to explore up there. It is not just the Holy Land. Nami even said that the Red Line is like a series of linked islands, with each segment containing its own unique climate. So if you were to journey across the Red Line, you would be faced with summer, autumn,
Cool
winter,
mother
and
goat.
spring climates at the very least. I say at the very least because climate in the Grand Line gets a bit weird. Not every island adheres to those 4 basic types. Do you think that the remaining 18 founders are alive too, but none are intervening? So we're talking
Nah.
about the founders of the world government
No
here,
way.
and I don't know if they're still
No
alive.
way.
I would
They're
be inclined to
descendants,
think
yeah, but
not.
not.
But I do think we will see most of, if not all of the kings with this title, because Emu's introduction box came with a wonderful new subclass, which is World Government Creator, one of the first 20. And the commenter said 18 because we're not counting the Nefertari clan in that. So it's more like the 19 families who created the world government and moved to the Holy Land. But I do think this title will be applied quite a bit during the Void Century flashback, as we are introduced to the other 18 founders. So, 3 silhouettes, Rox, Loki, and Emu in one arc. We truly in the final saga.
This season, this Elbaf is about to be
That's right, and we are now seriously
Fucking
approaching the
peak.
end game of One Piece. Oda suddenly decided all of a sudden to turn the lights on and get rid of all of these moody silhouettes. However, I'd also like to add that it is not just 3, it is in fact 4, as we also got
Ragnar,
Shamrock's silhouette
Shamrock.
revealed in this arc. He was first silhouetted at the end of Egghead Island, so again that is 4, and that's got to be some kind of revelation record. And at this stage, one of the only remaining silhouettes that we still have yet to reveal is the
Joy
silhouette
Boy.
of Joy Boy. Unless Soda
And
goes and
Davy.
introduces more, which
Davy
I
Lee
think he might.
Jones.
He likes to do that. But just to clarify, I don't actually think that Emu was a silhouette. The black blob form was probably exactly what he looked like, and it might be a form that he needs to enter to conserve energy and to not die. Man on the internet, when Loki said that
I
Gunko is
agree.
not dead and Ragnir is the only one who can undo it, it made me think, what if the legendary devil fruit Zebek was after on Elbaf was actually not Nidhogg, but the war god's Ragnir? So Rox did mention that he needed 2 devil fruits, although
I
he
don't know-
failed
I don't
to
know what
mention
2
exactly
devil
what
fruits
those
they
2
were.
fruits are. And ever since then, we've all just been making assumptions. In the words of Rox, to sum
I
it
think
all
we'll get
up,
that
there's
answer when we
2
talk
devil
about
fruits that I
Blackbeard.
want. One of them is most likely found on Elbaf, and its power will only truly be unlocked if Harold eats it. And now in retrospect, I do think it's even
Well,
more
I don't
obvious
think it's
that
King Harold, but anyone with Harold's
Rox
mentality.
was talking about the Nidhogg
It's not
fruit,
King
since
Harold.
we now know that its power does scale in direct relation to the size of its user. And during the time of Rox and Harold, Harold was the only option because Loki had yet to become an adult. So that's why Rox believed that it was Harold who needed to eat the fruit to accomplish his goals.
Oh, I
However,
thought
when
it
it
was
comes to the
mindset
second
thing.
fruit that Rox was talking about, it's very popular to assume that it's Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruit, because Blackbeard spent 2 decades of his life specifically hunting it down. And you know what? It could be. But it could also be Ragnir. If Ragnir is a devil fruit, I'm not sure that that's a given anymore, given all the talk of the spirit of Ratatoska inhabiting the hammer. But Rox would definitely need Ragnir as well, because that would have been the only way that he could have unfroze the Galilard giants. So maybe both of the fruits that Rox wanted were on Elbaf, but he only knew about one of them. I love how there are 2 open seats before Garling walks in, and yet Mars still stays standing. Well, canonically, Marcus Mars, he is not allowed to sit down. In the SBS Volume 109, a reader
I didn't know
asked
that.
if the reason why Marcus Mars is always standing is because he forgot his homework, and he was being punished by being forced to stand. And Oda's reply was that he didn't feel like investigating or making the real reason, so sure, that is the canon reason now. And a surprising amount of One Piece works exactly like that. A lot of the time, Oda uses his powers as an author as playfully as Luffy uses Gear 5th. But just look at this here. Here is a rendering of how the tall legs of Marcus Mars would cope versus a chair, and they are really not a good fit. So maybe the reason why he stays standing is to preserve the illusion of authority, with the exception of that one time where he was shown sitting down with this sassy teenage girl expression on his face. But he only did that while the other elders were away, so he does sit down in private. The attack on the Holy Land is the Celestial Dragons rioting because they are starving. Alright, I love this idea, particularly because no one has ever said that Marijois was under attack, just that it was burning. And this is the Revolutionary Army strategy, to starve the world nobles into a state of discontent and potentially have them
I
rebel
love that.
against their own governing body. And so this burning could have been a faction of the basic
Can we
world
even
nobles.
blame these people though? Like these celestial
And
dragons
so
are
one
victims,
reason why
bro.
Shamrock was
Victims
needed,
of
it
evil
might
and the
not have
world
to do with
government,
his
bro.
strength at all, but perhaps his symbolism
They're
amongst the
villains
Celestial
too, but
Dragons.
they're also
Because if
victims.
Shamrock is anything like Garling was when he was young, then Shamrock is a beloved hero. And his presence could help to calm down the riot by assuring the world nobles that Mr. Shamrock-san is on the case, and you'll all get your juicy steak and buttery lobster soon enough. The more I think about it, the more I like that idea better than Marijois being attacked either by Blackbeard or the Revolutionary Army. Especially Blackbeard though, because if that man launches an attack, there is no Shamrock in existence that's going to be able to bring it
This
under
is
control.
true.
But then there's also the conspiracy theory to address that Garling and Shamrock are actually involved in the starvation tactic that is currently going on. Which isn't to say that
I
they're
would love
working
if
with the
Shamrock
Revolutionary
was an
Army,
op.
but Garling is a man
If he
who
was a
very
pirate.
much has his own agenda. And all of this is
But it's
very
just
much
no
working
way.
in his favor.
And this guy's
at the moment.
awful, too.
So I wouldn't
Shamrock
be
is
surprised if
awful,
he
I'll
and
be
Shamrock
honest.
were using this to their advantage, and that may also be why Shamrock is particularly effective in quelling any disharmony at the moment. How did Emu see
I
a
can't wait
rubber
to see
boy
Shamrock.
constantly declaring war upon the world government and yet didn't connect the dots by then? Not only that, but this rubber boy, his
Okay,
name
bro. Emu has been on Luffy's ass for how long now? I think he wants to like consume. He wants to like consume like Luffy's devil fruit, or he wants to like control him to where he's like insane. Pause, but like to where he like can control Nika, like he turn him into like the evil version of Gear
Is
5. You
Monkey
know what
D.
I mean?
Luffy. D. And
I
I'm
think
not
he
sure if
wants
the
them to
reason
get
why
stronger.
Emu never targeted Luffy right from the beginning, or at least from the early days, after any slobbing.
Because it's like you're trying to find something. Now you know where it is. It's in a place that you don't want it to be, but at least you know where it is, and you can like control it, and you can track Monkey D. Luffy, aka track the fruit. You know what I mean? So it's like he's like, yeah, I keep getting stronger. You're there, and we're just gonna continue to. It's like the Goku Rose Black thing. How like when Goku got stronger, he'd get stronger. Like it's like
I don't
kind
know
of.
if that will ever be explained in the manga because it is a bit of a messy situation. The meta truth of the matter is that Emu almost certainly did not exist in Oda's mind.
Bro, either no, I don't think that's the case. Either Emu is just, bro. If you can't track a fruit and it's been 800 years and you're looking for it and you know somebody has it, leave him there. Because now you can track the fruit. Either he's going to become a bum or he's going to get goaded and you
all
could
the way
like
back then, because the
consume it.
original story of One
Because
Piece
if
was
Blackbeard knows how to eat multiple fruits, why the hell would Emu not? Emu knows everything, bro.
Luffy and the Straw Hats going up against the
He's going to eat that fruit, bro.
4 emperors. They were the big bad dudes in the world. And then all of the other elements like warlords, the worst generation, and the increasingly layered world government, as well as the unreasonably well-constructed history of this world, has all been something that's happened and mostly improvised along the way. I could be wrong about that. Maybe Emu was in Oda's mind right from the get-go, and at some point in the future
Wrote it
we'll
back
get
to
an
front.
earlier sketch of Emu from the 90s. But from everything that Oda has said about early One Piece and his intentions, at the moment, I don't think so. I really thought Emu's reveal was an April Fool's prank. Yeah, so did I at first. Because the spoilers for this chapter came out right smack bang on April Fool's. So no one had any idea what to actually believe. Especially since most of the spoilers this week were focused entirely on describing Emu's appearance, leading lots of artists to draw their predictions, and I just want to share this one with all of you, which is captioned with my son's prediction on what Emu looks like. And you know what? It's actually not that far off. Or at the very least, it's a bit closer than other guesses in the past have been. But you will let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments
Some kid
below.
drew this? Some kid drew that? Bro, no. No, bro. Go back. Bro, leave me alone. Bro.
My theory is that not only can Emu...
We've lost it all.